Hi, I'm Angelo Roman, and you're watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, everyone. Today we're here with great bass player Angelo Roman. Angelo,
Yes, sir. It's nice to be here.
thank you, man. Thank you for making time for me and from the Cape of Bass. You all the way from Pretoria.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is
been a
an
long trip.
this is another special interview. I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
I
I'm
have a few
down. I
questions.
want to
I
answer.
I just want to put it out there before we start. I've been following you on what's it, Instagram, and I'm amazed by what you do and with this X and before with this X also the works that you used to play. So I'm a big fan. I'm a
Thank
big
you
fan,
very
and
much.
it's an honor for me. I'm starstruck. I'm touching you.
Thank you
But
for the
anyway,
kind words. I really appreciate it.
man, you deserve it. You deserve it. Listen, I have a few questions. So I'm gonna ask you, what was your first musical experience as a child growing up? Obviously, I know your father is a bass player. We all know
Mm.
that. So, what was your first musical
My
experience?
father's a bass player, and I used to like go to all his rehearsals and
Mm,
shows and stuff. So, like, I would always experience music
mm.
in any way, like keys players,
Okay.
drummers. I always used to sit by the drums. I thought I was gonna be a drummer,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
And then when I used to sit with my father, because I used to sit by his amp
Mm,
like next to him during the rehearsal, I was like, this feels nice because
mm,
obviously it's the bass, and I'm sitting right by the bass. I'm
mm,
like, this feels nice under my
mm.
booty cheeks right now. If I could say it like that, like it's just
Yeah.
yeah, and I fell in love with the feeling that it brings.
Mm,
Like, because I mean, as a bass player, you literally in between the pulse of what's going on and through the harmony.
mm.
So for me, it's like I have control over the way you move and how you listen to the music at
Oh,
that point.
okay.
That's
Okay,
that's the
that's a
way I
nice
see
analogy.
it.
I haven't thought of that yet.
Yeah.
So why? Okay, so you had the drums there. Your father was a bass player. Why did you actually choose the bass? Is it because of that nice feel and the fact that you are the go between the melody and the way
Mhm.
people.
I would say that analogy came like a lot later when I thought about it. Like I really got into bass when I heard a bass player, Victor Wooten.
Mm,
And there was this DVD called Bailiff Fleck and the Fleck Tones Live in the Quick.
mm,
I used to watch that DVD
mm,
every day for 10 years, I think, like
mm.
every day, the whole day. And I got to the point where I knew how Victor Wooten was moving around in the DVD. That's how much I
Yeah,
watched it.
that's crazy. Then.
Like, that's crazy, literally. Like, at that point, I'm a psychopath, if I could say it like that. But that was like my first encounter and what Victor Wooten was doing on
Mm,
the bass at that point. I was like, this is incredible.
mm.
I need to do it. And from there, the rest is history, if I could say it like that.
You got to meet Victor Wooten.
Yes, I did.
I want to hear. I want the listeners to hear that story. I know the story.
Yeah.
I know the story, but
Oh, that
your
story.
story.
So you want me to start from the beginning,
Start
from
from
when we
the
were
beginning.
okay.
Start from the beginning.
So my father told me that Victor Wooten was coming to South Africa,
Mm,
to Cape Town,
mm,
and where we're at right now, actually.
mm,
And it was the Cape Town Jazz Festival. I think it was 2015 or something,
mm,
and he was coming, and my father tried his best to get tickets, and he got tickets. And we drove down to Cape Town the day before Victor Wooten came, and throughout that whole process, we got to the festival, and I was 9 at the time,
mm.
and I had my brother with me, and he was also 16. I think he was 16, and my father was there. So they didn't want to let us in to watch the concert, and my father being is, which I'm very grateful for. Like my father knowing so many people, we got there and they saw us watch it. Oh, English. I was literally watching the show from outside the barricade because they didn't want to let
Wow.
us in. And there was someone that my father knew that walked past and he was handling gear, so he got us in backstage. And also Carlo Uesta was there and he
Mm,
knew that we were there, so they organized us to get backstage.
wow.
And I literally got to stand like 5 meters or like 3 meters away from Victor Wooten. Like I was right there watching this whole concert in front of my eyes. And I had the honor of speaking to him after the show. Like he came back and we had a conversation. He was telling me about the music industry and all the crap that goes on in the music industry.
Sorry, just pause a bit. See your hairstyle. I see Victor. I see Victor Wooten.
Yo, that's funny. Yeah, man. It's actually it's because of him. And I'm yeah, man. And
You got to
that
sign your
whole
bass.
yeah, he signed my bass. I forgot that part.
Mm,
He signed my bass. It was a Warwick thumb bass that I
mm,
had. I also got Bobby Lewis's signature on there. That's
wow.
also one of my big influences.
Mm,
And yeah, I traded that bass in for another bass because
mm,
I was so young at that time. Um, that bass was so heavy.
mm.
Like for me, I think I was nine,
Yeah,
10,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
doing shows with that heavy bass, and
Mm.
it was just killing me. I think that's why I'm so short now, to be
So,
honest.
so tell me about your musical education. I know that your father is in music and you've been playing all over the place. Did you go to a music school?
So technically, I did.
Mm.
I had music as a subject when I was in what's called Waterkloof. That's the
Mm.
school I was. That's the high school I was in.
Did they tell you to always say Woerskool Water
Yeah.
to
I
do it
don't know. I
like
always feel like people think I'm talking about something completely different
mm.
when I say that name.
So everybody at Woerskool Water they do that. Do they?
Yes,
Okay.
literally though. Literally,
Okay,
I
cool.
think it's more pride thing at that point. Yeah, but I was in the orchestra
Mm.
and I had a scholarship, and it was a scholarship for music,
Mm.
and I had music as a subject from grade 8 until grade 10,
Yeah.
and I haven't had any more educational stuff,
Mm.
if I can say it like that, from music since then. Yeah.
But
So
playing live, I mean, that's the education itself, you know.
yeah, I think playing live is more of an experience,
Mm.
and you learn so much
Mm.
from interactions with different musicians, and
Yeah, yeah.
just being in a space where you're with your friends at that point and you're just playing music together
Mm.
with people watching you at that point. That's what it is. That's the way I see it. Because I feel like you have to be so confident within yourself to it mustn't be a vibe of when you're playing with your friends. It shouldn't impact the way you play with the amount of people that are there. Like
Are
you
you
should
on
be.
your way? Are you planning to write a book?
Everybody's been asking me that question because I've been
Don't tell
spitting
anybody.
bars.
You can tell me. Tell me. Are you planning to write a book?
I think I would write a book one
I
day.
you see, because your idol, Victor Wooten.
I mean, he has
Yeah,
two books
yeah,
or three books now or
I
something.
know.
It's just
So,
like, yeah,
and it's
I
more
see myself.
philosophy. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
so you sound like a
yeah,
philosopher.
I like to get into people's heads.
Mm,
Like I want to pick
mm,
each
the brain.
pick each person's brain
Mm,
in terms of music and the way they see it, the way they
okay,
experience it, you
okay.
know, and yeah, the way they interpret music too. It's a heavy thing in
Interesting.
the end.
Interesting. You came. You not only came from Victoria with your base, but with your brain as
Of course,
well.
always.
So, Angelo, I know that you've played with Karen Zoid and with many others because I've seen the videos on your Instagram handle. Um, have you played on albums? Have you recorded?
I have
Okay.
recorded albums.
And then also the other artists um, that you played for, and also how you got into the Karen Zoid band.
So I never got into the Garnzoid band,
Mm.
to be specific. My father was in the Garnzoid band. I was just the kid, the
Just tell the
musician's kid.
people who your father is, please.
My father is Rixie Robin. He's
Mm.
a bass player in South Africa. He's worked at the likes of everybody at this point. Yeah, that's my father at
Mm.
that point. So back in 2007, I think, or something like that. That around that time
Mm.
span, my father was in the Garnzoid band, and
Okay.
I grew up with Auntie Karen. Auntie Karen is actually my godmother.
Wow.
So
So that's why you
so
got
it's
into the
been,
band. Huh? I like
yeah. In the end,
that.
yeah, we've done some shows where she had like two bassists
Mm.
and three guitarists
Wow.
technically, and one drummer. Done stuff like that. That's pretty much how we've worked it.
Mm.
Yeah, but I haven't technically been in the Garnzoid band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the albums that you've worked on.
To be honest, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't know myself. It's always a vibe of someone who DM me on Instagram or get a Gmail,
Mm.
and I'll never know who it is. A lot of the time, it's just producers,
Oh,
and
so then you sit with a track at home.
yeah, and I
Oh,
always record from home, and
okay, okay.
some sessions that I do like around Victoria, but most of the time
So you
I'm a
don't
home
know.
session guy.
So you could have played on.
I could have played on anybody's album,
Sure.
and I wouldn't be able to tell you. I think there's only two artists that I could tell you, but no one will know them, the site
Okay, okay,
specifically. Yeah,
okay. So that's I understand.
yeah.
So you've got this beautiful X Markbass
Yes,
Richard. Is the Richard Boner signature?
Richard Bonner signature. It's my baby.
Yeah.
I'm in love with her.
How did you? How?
um, how did this happen? Oh, okay. So I got a message from the king himself, Marco de Vergilis. I hope I said that right. He's the owner of Markbass amps,
Yeah.
and he asked me if I wanted to join the family, and I
Wow.
joined the family. I'm a Markbass endorsee.
Mm.
I'm very proud to be one,
Mm.
and this is the bass that they sent me with with some amps too.
Wow.
But this bass, I didn't expect it to be so great. Like I just got in and I was like, let's see what it's about.
Mm.
And clearly, it's an amazing bass. This is my main bass. I play this bass everywhere on everything, recordings, all this.
Oh.
Very comfortable. It looks nice because it's green.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. It stands out.
exactly.
Stands
No
out.
one really would take a green bass at that point. So I have something to call mine, if I could say it like that. Like it's my trademark.
So,
over here.
question: does Richard Boner have the exact same model?
So not the exact same model. Or technically the exact same model, just the colors are different.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they have three subcategories under the Richard Bonner signature.
Okay. Okay.
So there's the basses, the amps, and the heads. With the basses, they have a Kilimanjaro, which is the one that he plays. I think it's with a maple top. He
Okay.
has that vibe. And then they have the Kilimanjaro F1,
Mm.
which is like it has a Italian olive wood as
Wow.
the top
You
on the
even know
bass.
about the wood?
I know about the wood. I've done my research with all of this, and this is the one I have, the Kimando bass. This is the cheaper range of basses that they have, but it's still an incredible.
How can you
bass.
say this is cheap? I played this earlier and it sounds incredible. I heard you play this and it sounds incredible. There's nothing cheap about this.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the cheaper version of the Kilimanjaro. So that's why they call it the Kimando.
Wow.
So it's like behind the mountains, the Kimando mountains.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you've got the groove gear.
Groove gear, fret wrap. Yeah, I love groove gear. I use their straps, their bass bags.
Wow.
Yeah. Groove gear for life.
How many amps do you have at home?
I think I
I'm
only
serious.
have
This
two
is a
rigs.
serious question.
I think I only have two rigs right now. Yeah, I think there's two rigs in the house, if I'm not mistaken.
In the house.
in the home, in our lovely home.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Angelo, do you have any advice for young up and coming bass players and musicians out there?
Yes, I do, in my opinion. The one thing I would have to say to make it off is like it's not really all about how you play, but about the type of person you are.
Yeah.
Like people won't want to be around you if you're not a good person.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wouldn't book you if you're not a good person. So I feel like yeah, you don't need to be a people's person to be in music, if I could say, but you should just have the common decency and respect for one another
Yeah,
in the space that you are, because you're all doing the same work.
yeah.
Because obviously they would call you because they know you have the ability to do the gig.
There we go.
But now to keep the gig is who you are as a person, how you treat people in the end. So I'd say work on your personality. That's what I would say.
Angelo, thank you so much for making time for me, for making time from the Cape Base. Godspeed on your journey, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please follow From the Cape with Base on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Thank you so much.